I'd like to call the Northwood Board of Selectmen meeting on October 9th, 2018 at 6 o'clock. Roll call. Donald Hushin here.
Beth Boudreau here.
Scott Roy here. We'll now do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'm going to do citizens forum real quick, and then we're going to go real quick into non-public to deal with a promotion of an employee, and then we'll go into our regular agenda. So, real quick, citizens forum. Jim?
Yes, Jim Valancourt. I gotta turn it on. Yeah. How about that? Can you hear me now? Jim Valancourt, 34 Coveway. I'm here tonight as the chair of the trustees of the trust fund. We've been working since March to try to get money out of mutual funds that prior trustees of the trust fund invested in over 2 decades ago. We've been working since March. We've hit a we've just hit a wall with the Wells Fargo and Fidelity, and we've not been able to get their money. So we went to the Attorney General to see if we could get some help. Attorney General sent Kate an email on the 18th of September and said that trustees of trust funds are volunteers, they're not town employees. The town needs to take responsibility for this and needs to involve the lawyer. Kate involved the lawyer on that next day, the 20th, 19th.
May I ask one question?
Absolutely, because this is something he approached me for, and I wanted you to kind of get in on this.
Do you get a stipend as a trustee?
We do.
So you're technically an employee of the town,
Well,
for the record.
okay, moot point, but
Well, no, is it,
the Attorney General believes the town needs to deal with the issue, okay, with the lawyer. I do not have authority to talk to the lawyer,
okay.
okay? So I can't, the lawyer has sent a letter to the lawyer ignored us for 2 weeks, and then in the last 2 weeks, they've sent a letter to the mutual funds. Wells Fargo has come back and said, you need to do this, that, and the other thing. So Savannah got the letters for us today so we can do this, that, and the other thing, to send them the ballots and stuff, all right? So now we've got to go get a medallion guarantee for that, the 3 of us, right? So we've got that in the works. But we've heard nothing from Fidelity. We've heard nothing from the lawyer. We don't have a town administrator, okay? So we need to keep...
We have an interim town administrator.
Okay, we don't know that. Okay, we don't have a relationship with a town administrator that is saying, I got the ball, I'm going to bounce the ball, we're going to get this done. Okay? I didn't run for this office to get an email every day from the Attorney General. Okay? We are in violation of 7 RSAs right now. Okay? The Attorney General understands that. I self-reported that. And the Attorney General is saying, as long as you guys are working towards fixing this, we're cool with that. Okay? They're being very nice and very helpful. But we, as a town, we can't wait till January when we get a new town administrator. We have to keep this ball rolling. And I'm trying to find out, how do we keep the ball rolling?
So all we have to do is call the attorney, the chairman or myself or Beth, one of us could be assigned to call the attorney and work with you to work this out.
We've done that. We've called the attorney twice.
What, they're not getting back to you?
They sent the letter, and now they're working on...
Our attorney,
Our
Mitchell?
attorney,
Okay.
yep.
The
Sent
Mitchell
them a
group.
letter last week, and there was a list of medallion guarantee, which I can't do, it has to be done by somebody. So that's what they have to work on, but my suggestion is I will talk with Tammy on Friday when she comes in.
Are you available Friday to
Bring
possibly
her
meet
up to
with them
date. Do you
too?
want to meet on Friday?
Well, I could make,
I mean, I can talk to her if you don't want to be
Well,
here, that's
wait,
fine.
if he's busy, that's fine.
Yeah, she can reach out to him when she gets a
Well,
chance.
the attorney can deal with getting the bond and all that stuff.
Right,
I mean, we can all do that through legal.
right,
It's just getting the other person, the
right, but
intern
they
back
just
up.
got, that's what he's just said, he just got his stuff
Right.
that they're working on when we get it together.
Fine, all we
we'll submit
gotta
it
do
through.
is, so what do you need, a bond?
no,
the
I
medallion
need
guarantees.
somebody to push the lawyer. I need somebody to
Yeah,
be,
so
because
we
we
can-
haven't heard from Fidelity. We don't know where we're at with Fidelity.
We can do that.
We can do
Well,
that.
what's this medallion guarantee?
Well, that's a signature. We'll have to go down to TD Bank, and the three of us, and we'll have to sit there and sign it, and they will stamp the medallion guarantee on it, and we'll send that off to Wells Fargo. But I
gotta
can
help
tell
me
you,
out here.
we've
You gotta help
already.
me out just a little bit. What is a medallion guarantee?
Well,
guaranteed
it's
of the
sort of like
funds.
it's a
Like
higher.
a surety bond?
It's a I don't know. I don't know what a surety bond is. It's a higher level than a notary public.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's
That's
just
all
a
I need to
guarantee that, it's just a guarantee that, yes, this was Jim Valancourt that signed this, you know, and they certify that. So how it works.
So,
But the other point that is, I think, critical for you to understand is that we have called these people since March, and we have sent them, some of them, 3 times. Because we send the documents in, we call them, yes, these 4 documents. We got the 4 documents, we got the medallion guarantees, we sent them in, and then we get a call back and says, oh, wrong ones. It's these 3 you need to send in. And they've been doing this to us. And if you read the letter really carefully from Wells Fargo this time, it says you need to do these 2 things. You need a certified ballot that shows that you are, and then you need a letter that states what you want to do and that this ballot is still in effect, and medallion guarantee those. To start the process, that's what their letter says, to start the process. It doesn't say we're done with you. So I have no idea. We'll send it in, that's fine. But the issue is, the bottom line issue is this. A decade and a half ago, trustees of the trust fund took their personal Social Security numbers, took over $400,000 out of the town and invested it. Now, do I think there's malicious intent there? No way. Do I think that they want their money back? No way. But in essence, there's over $400,000 of town money, not in town tax ID identification. It's in personal identification. That's wrong. It should never have been done in the first place. Our auditors should have picked it up. So we need to fix this.
So the trustees of trust funds, not you, previous trustees,
Long ago.
long
Yes.
ago, went and invested money in,
Fidelity, Wells Fargo, Vanguard.
is there a statutory authority that allows them to do that?
They shouldn't have done that. Yes.
I know,
Is-
that's what
is-
I'm asking, like, to the
Yes.
best of my knowledge, you're not allowed to invest in things like that.
Yeah, yes. As long as your investment policy says that you can do that, and their investment policy is like this narrow, we're fixing that as well. That's another RSA that we're in violation of. If your investment policy says that you can invest in that, then yeah. We don't think that's safe. We don't think that's the way to go. And that's why we're trying to pull it all back. And not having it in the town's name is
Whose
That-
name is it in?
theirs. Theirs. That's 3 trustees. That's
Previous 3
the
trustees.
problem. And one of them is deceased, and 2 of them are incapacitated with Alzheimer's. So they can't help us.
So we need to get, are you available Friday?
Oh.
Possibly?
Later on in the morning, I have my global meeting with Germany.
Maybe you can set something up with Sandy and have a meeting to get the interim town administrator on board so she can get with the lawyer and try to get this somewhat squared away a little bit better.
Okay.
We need someone to drive the train from inside.
That we'll go from there, and then if you need me to come in and talk to the lawyer, I can too, but I think you or Tammy can handle that. But does that seem good, Jim? Start
Okay,
there.
we'll try
We'll
that.
start there and
Okay.
see what happens.
All right, appreciate your time. Thank
Yep,
you.
Thank you. Anybody else, citizens forum? Okay, are you guys really quick? The planning board?
10, 15 minutes?
All right, we're gonna do them. Do you mind waiting 10, 15 minutes? All right, we'll take care of you and then we'll go. So you're up. Come on up.
Thank you.
Thank you for waiting, Pete.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. So good evening. I just wanted to come out and introduce myself and just have an opportunity to touch base with you here in the town. I'm Jen Sizz. I'm the new executive director at Stratford Regional Planning Commission. Started at the end of May.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I've been working in regional and state planning in New Hampshire for about 15 years, but then working for longer than that. So have recently shifted here to Stratford from Nashville Regional Planning Commission, where I was the assistant director and did a lot of our contract management and oversaw all of, my transportation programs and land use programs at various points in my tenure there. So just kind of taking an opportunity to get out, visit each of the towns in the region and get to know you all, and use it as an opportunity to touch base, hear what you have going on in town and how we can continue to be of assistance. I've brought with me tonight James, who is your circuit rider and works with the planning board, which you may already know. James also does a lot of work in our land use programs and economic development for the Planning Commission. And Colin is our senior transportation planner, so have kind of both sides of the office here with me today, just in case you have any questions. Just wanted to take a quick second to do, what is a regional planning commission? We're formed under state statute. We have a handful of requirements under statute that we fulfill. Part of which is to be available for you all as technical assistance providers. We also prepare a regional comprehensive plan. The last one was adopted early in 2015, and that is due to be updated every 5 years. So there'll be an update hopefully coming. Housing needs assessment is another item that we do on the regional level, and the intent of the housing needs assessment is to make sure that communities have the data that they need to prepare the housing chapter of their local master plan. So that's another one that we update every 5 years. It's on the same cycle right now as our regional comprehensive plan. We also serve as an economic development district, and this is a federal designation under which we prepare our comprehensive economic development strategy for the region and have the means to, again, work directly with you to make sure some of your priorities are included in that plan and make you eligible for other funding that might be out there for your economic development initiatives. And the third role we play is that of a metropolitan planning organization, and that, again, another federal designation. This is for the transportation planning programs. And so with that, we have to work within the federal framework for transportation funding. But for projects to get included in the state plan and get federal funding, it starts with you. We solicit projects from all of our communities, go through that process, and then feed them up to the Department of Transportation, and then they get into that queue for federal funding. So that's kind of us in a big nutshell. Just from an administrative side, we're governed by our commissioners, which are appointed by you. Victoria Parmalee is our chair and is one of your commissioners. And then the other commissioner from Northwood is Scott Martin. I will note really quick, Scott's term expires in November, so something to keep on the radar for either reappointment or I don't know if he plans to continue or what his intent is. And Victoria's term is up in March. Again, she can be reappointed as well if she wishes to continue. Our commissioners meet quarterly. As I said, they are our governing body for the organization. Then we also have a policy committee, which is, again, our commissioners, and also pulls in representatives from Department of Transportation, Department of Environmental Services, the transit providers in the area, and they drive the decision-making for our transportation programs. We also have an executive committee, which is a 7-member board. Victoria as chairs the executive committee and the full commission, and the policy committee. So got a lot to cover there. The executive committee does oversees the day-to-day administration. So I directly report to the executive committee. They monitor our financials, make sure we're moving in the right direction. And other committee that we have of importance is our technical advisory committee. This is, again, for the transportation programs. Typically, municipal staff sit on the technical advisory committee, These are the folks that are able to be there during the day, talk about projects of importance in your community, and provide advice to our policy committee. So when we're voting on what transportation projects that should be fed up to the Department of Transportation, they're helping to make sure that we've got good information from on the ground. I will say, I don't know that we've seen someone from Northwood at the Technical Advisory Committee meeting, so it's definitely an opportunity for your voice to be heard in that realm. So that's kind of a big nutshell of who we are and what we do. I was going to give James a couple minutes to just talk a little bit about some of the land use and economic development projects we have going on.
I got a quick question
Yes.
that somebody from planning secretary came up and asked me to ask. Several years ago, going back to Brett Lemire, he used to be our town administrator. As part of our agreement, is that still available, that if our economic development committee gets up and running, that you'll provide, they were actually coming to the meetings?
Sure, I can do.
So
Yeah,
I think that when I started, my understanding was that that was something that we were doing outside of the agreement.
No, it was inside the agreement.
With the dues. our
It was
dues covered.
included with our dues.
Yep.
Okay. I think in that sense, I was coming outside of the contract. We
Right.
weren't charging you for it. We were doing that through EDA funding primarily to cover my time.
Because you were your predecessor that went to
Matt Sullivan was coming to a lot of them. I was coming to every one for, I don't know, probably my first 6 to 8 months-ish while I was down here, and then they started to peter out around last winter. So from there, I can continue to come. I talked briefly with Kate probably about a month ago about some ways we could get it up and running again. One of the things that we're working on with the planning board right now is gradually trying to get the next update to the master plan rolling. So that's specifically something I want to bring back to the Economic Development Committee and Conservation Commission in particular, is to get their feedback on their chapters. I would say, yes, it's something I'm happy to come for. I think that it would probably help me most if there were specific things that you wanted me to speak to or wanted to have me there, and I could come for those. I may or may not be able to commit to going to 12 meetings a year if there aren't specific things for me to cover.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
I would just kind of follow up on that and say, from the dues perspective, if it is 12 meetings a year, it would probably chew through what there is of your dues pretty quickly, and dues would not cover the amount of time to be there. So we are dependent upon the EDA funding, and I will say that we still do not have our EDA funding for this fiscal year, we were waiting on the continuing resolution, which was just signed at the end of September, so we're hoping to have those funds, but those we definitely would need to kind of help supplement if it was more than a meeting here and there.
Which I kind of understand and get it. So they have like stuff that they need you to do.
Yeah, if there are specific things that you want me to speak to, if there are, I know you've sort of been talking about getting the TIF up and running for a bit. If there was specific, research or outreach that you wanted me to do and I could come and support a specific activity like that, I think that would be the sort of thing that would make a lot of sense. I think if there are agendas that aren't specifically going to need me to be there, those would probably be good meetings for me to pass on and come back when there was something specific you could use.
I was just asked to bring the topic up.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yep.
So other things that we have going on, planning board has been busy this year. I did a quick look through what we've done so far. We've had 19 planning board applications this year, which is already 7 more than we had all of last year. So we are busier than usual. That's not counting the Narrows Fire Station that we did a quick governmental use of land just discussion on, and the board decided not to have a public hearing to get additional information on that. I've also had to put in some support.
The planning board decided?
The planning board decided not to hold a public hearing on it. So the town provided notice to the planning board of the governmental use of land for the Narrows Fire Station. At that point, the planning board has the option to schedule a public hearing and provide any non-binding feedback that they choose to. They opted that since this had been a public project, it had been in front of town meeting, they didn't need to hold a separate public hearing. So they said, yep, sounds great, thanks for the notice, go right ahead. That was one that we sort of got to figure out the process on the fly, but I think with the additional notice to the planning board, it was a good just sort of exercise of the public process. I provided a little bit of support to the ZBA this year for the one Eames Realty case in particular. That's not something that I do regularly, but that was something that Linda asked me to step in and help out with for that case in particular. And then we've also sort of been figuring out how the home business permit process is going to work. We had 2 of those come through last month or the month before. So we got that process in place in terms of me communicating with the building inspector, following up with the landowners about what they're planning to do with the process, and then signing off on a notice of decision that allows them to go forward and seek their building permits or any of that stuff that they might need to get their business up and running. Currently, we're working on zoning amendments for town meeting next year. We're going to have a first reveal of those on Thursday night, and then work through those to fine-tune them to get them ready for public hearings. Probably once those start to wind down is when we'll get the master plan work going more seriously again. Again, hopefully take advantage of the winter months when we tend to see fewer applications and won't be quite as busy. And then in general, I also try and help out with just some general customer service when people have an idea of something they want to work on, come down, meet with them, walk them through the process. I find that when we do that, we tend to see better applications and they don't spend as much time in front of the board. Other note, moving into next year, we will need to work on Northwood's hazard mitigation update. Those are done every 5 years. That's going to be, again, outside of my contract with the town. That funding comes from HSEM. And I believe Chief Bassett has set us up so that we can get that grant and administer that directly from HSEM.
Okay.
To do that on behalf of the
we've
town.
already signed the contract and sent it back to HSEM for governor and council approval. So that'll be coming.
For Northwood.
Correct. Yep, that'll
We're
include.
dealing with that at HMS.
Whitney Welch is our primary contact. She's in the hazard mitigation planning program. Yeah.
So we anticipate probably having access to those funds sometime in January. So that would when we would be reaching back out to Chief Bassett to put a committee together and to start having those meetings.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
Any other questions?
I would say, if there are no questions for James, Colin can just touch base quickly on some of the transportation programs. James is double booked tonight with the Dover Planning Board, so.
No, I'm good.
in the spring.
Okay, I'll keep it really brief since you guys have more business to attend to. So, very broad strokes. Every urbanized area in the country over 50,000 population is designated as a metropolitan planning organization. So there are about 409 of them. So we serve 18 municipalities in this role, along with Stratford Regional Planning. MPOs are a public forum for decision-making surrounding federal transportation dollars, specifically, at the very basic level. So, as Jen mentioned, the staff are not the MPO. We are not the decision makers. It's the representatives of the 18 municipalities, like Victoria, that are the ultimate decision makers. We provide technical support, data, recommendations. They make the decisions that eventually work their way to agencies like DOT. So one of the ways we're involved with that is programming projects that use federal funding. So every MPO in the country has a metropolitan transportation plan, which is a long-range planning document. It looks out 20 years from now. So in New Hampshire's case, the long-range plan includes the next 4 years, which are the state's STIP, or statewide transportation improvement program. Those are actual federal dollars programmed to actual projects. New Hampshire is a little weird, and they have a 10-year plan. I don't need to go into details on that. You all are familiar. So we have 10 years of programmed federal transportation dollars. Out beyond that, the MPOs play a role in programming projects from the local level.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, we've had a couple we have quite a few accidents on Route 4.
Yes.
This goes to the 10-year plan I think he's talking about.
10-year plan. And you're, to the best of your, because I remember your Stratford Regional Planning
Yes.
and Route 4 is not, except for Durham. But our part of Route 4 is all Rockingham County.
Right, but you're still the same, you're still Stratford Regional Planning. Yeah.
I get that because it's statutory. What are the plans, are you aware of any plans to address the issues on Route 4?
Yes.
Yes.
So there's the long range planning, and our metro plan and the 10-year plan are really for those larger scale projects that no one community can deal with on their own. So the 10-year plan is for like corridor level projects, and the current 10-year plan has a recommendation from DOT that came from the regional level, from our policy folks, to study both the entire US 4 corridor from Epping to Lee, but also a specific recommendation for the Northwood Business District, recognizing that it is a big thoroughfare, or a big artery that, and Northwood has local issues along with that, with their planning goals, that, the development of that corridor is going to play a huge role in that, and we want to be positive, not negative. So,
And I think not only there's some safety concerns,
yes,
but there's also, it's economically important because of the number of businesses that are located on Route 4.
yes. And so that's the 10-year plan is long-term. Short-term, I'm currently working with Linda, and I met with Linda and Mr. Strobel and a couple of folks from DOT District 6. There is a short-term program called the Road Safety Audit Program that's federally funded. I've been away in kind of a rat race for 2 weeks, but I'll follow up again with Linda and get in contact with the police department. I just need to get crash reports. We've done some basic analysis. I'm going to forget the names of the businesses, but down the hill a little ways.
Cooper Hill.
Yes, Cooper Hill, thank you. So any corridor or intersection, sort of short corridor length or intersection that has had a fatal or severe injury crash is automatically eligible for the road safety.
We just recently had a fatal.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Couple actually.
Yeah.
I will be working with Linda and the PD, compile all that information, and help Northwood put together an application due December 3rd. Usually doesn't take that long once I get the crash reports, and that could potentially, in most cases, as 100% federally funded review of the engineering situation in that vicinity to propose, alternative treatments for that, for the driveways, for a passing lane, a center turning lane, whatever the recommendations are. That would be vetted multiple times through the community, through you all, and then so usually that's a very short turnaround. You're not waiting 10 years out.
I think
Right.
that's the main,
Right.
from what I'm hearing in Northwood, when I get calls about is, there's a lot of concern about
Yes.
safety on Route 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the strategy that we've got going forward here is let's see what we can do with DOT to address the short-term and more immediate safety concerns, then get into the bigger picture corridor study that'll look a little bit more comprehensively and further out, and then if there are things identified through that process, let's get them programmed into the queue for the 10-year plan for the larger items.
And so just to summarize, just to finish up, there's the short term, safety is a major issue for DOT, and they want to get right on those. There are other transportation programs for like bicycle and pedestrian projects. There's a program for reducing congestion and improving air quality. There's the long-term planning. I want to come back next, spring and late winter, early spring, and have several discussions with you and other Northwood folks about what kind of projects you want to get on the books, whether they're those long-range ones that are going to take more, strategic programming and planning. Those are 10-year projects, 10-year plan projects we can get developing now.
Now, I'm gonna ask another question.
Yes.
So, I'm kinda like very avid cycler.
Okay, yes.
So, my question is, not so much here, but like on some of these other, roads that come into Northwood, like,
107.
107,
Yep.
More, what's the one? 202.
Yes.
Yeah.
43.
In 202, because I noticed in a lot of these other towns, they're actually putting in, I'm not
Bike lanes.
Bike lanes, yeah. Thank you, DJ.
The bike lanes and the sharrows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
They're everywhere in Concord.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
And you do see a lot of people cycling up and down Route 4.
Yeah.
Center of Rochester as
Well,
well.
actually-
Oh, Rochester just did a
Did a
bunch
really
of work
nice-
with
I'm
Yeah.
surprised too with Cole Brown. We get a lot of students walking home. I'm surprised they haven't done a bike.
Yeah.
Oh, they have the whole, the track team. The track team runs down
all
Route
the time.
4.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
So you leave,
Kinda
you
scary.
see a whole bunch of kids.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
run
you're
away
right. I
from
forgot all
Route
about
4,
that.
they
Like,
run down Route 4.
So those are the kind of issues that I want to come talk
So
with.
like Route 4 and bike and
run lane or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are programs like Transportation Alternatives is for
Say
Bike
TAP.
Ped. There's going to be one more round of that. They're wrapping up a round right now. So Northwood could put an application for that. That the funding would come up again in 2 years. That is going to be an 80-20 program, 80% federal, 20% local match program. The bicycle and pedestrian issues would be incorporated into a corridor
when
study.
they talk 80-20, they're talking 80 Fed, 20 state though, right?
No.
20
They want
local.
The town to come up with 20
20
local.
local.
For that program in particular, yes. So that is going to be a little, require
A little
more.
more of a hurdle.
Yes.
I will say though to that end, kind of putting in a plug for our policy committee meeting, the DOT commissioner will be at our October 19th policy committee meeting. It's at 9 in the morning. And she's going to be talking about the state DOT's budget that she's putting together for consideration in this coming January in legislature. And she is putting into the budget for the state to resume providing some match to projects. So that's something where,
Is that meeting at your office?
yes,
In your office in Rochester?
correct,
Or Dover? I forget.
Rochester,
At the community
at
center.
the community center. So,
What's the date of that?
19th. at
October
9.
19th, 9 a.m.
November 19th.
October, sorry,
October.
did I just say November mistakenly?
I think-
Yeah, October 19th, 9 a.m.
And so that's the role I'm going to be focusing on for the next foreseeable future is developing that role as for the policy committee to
Yeah.
promote those and provide input to DOT. We need more funding. Municipalities can't afford 80-20 split right off the bat. We need state support.
Like in a town like this, it's like,
Yeah.
that'd be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Right.
So we need, more programs, more funding, more regularly available, and those sorts of things. So that's really the role for the policy committee.
Okay.
And so this isn't the last time you'll see me for the next 2 years. I have a list, I failed to put a title on it. This is the current list of projects in our long-range plan that could be developed for the 10-year plan or other programs. So I'll leave this with you guys.
Thank you.
And I've
And
spoken
business
to.
card too.
Yes.
Yes, we
stacks
both
of
have business
cards.
cards that we'll leave, and I also have just a general overview of who we are and what we do.
Slide right over here.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Leave.
Oh, I didn't want that to happen.
Wow, that's like.
There. All right. There we go.
Thank you
So-
very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, any other questions about
I
the
don't
transportation
have any
world?
questions at this time. Do you? Anybody else? You?
No, I'm
Thank you very
Yeah.
much for your time.
All right, and
Please.
anytime you want us to come in and sit down and chat, give us a holler. We're more than happy to come back. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Please be in touch.
Thank
Okay,
you.
for those two people in the audience, we're gonna go real quick into non-public, and then we're gonna come out and do budget if you guys wanna come back in and stay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hear me? We're gonna go real quick into non-public, and then we're gonna come back, and basically it's just budget the rest of the meeting. But you're more than welcome to come back in. Scott, you wanna make a motion to go into non-public real quick? Please.
I'll make a motion to go into non-public under 91-A:3, paragraph 2A.
Sandy, do you want one of these?
Second that.
Roll call, Donald Hutchins, aye.
Let the record show it's 6:35.
Scott Pryor, aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
We're now in non-public. Scott,
Make a motion to come out of non-public.
I'll second. Roll call, Donald Hutchins, aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
Scott Pryor, aye. I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes.
I'll second. Any discussion?
No.
Just like to say we were just in non-public discussing,
Interview.
interview. Call for the vote, all in favor?
I'd
motion
like to
passes.
make a motion to hire Pete
Elliot.
Elliott. I'd like to make a motion to hire Pete Elliott at step 10. No, I'm sorry, labor grade 10, step, I know it's $20.42 an hour,
Step 12.
step 12. I'd like to move that.
I second that.
I would just like to just say that we're actually promoting him, not hiring him, but same thing.
Well,
Same
Moving into
thing.
laborer 1 position.
We'll move it. Okay.
Call for a vote?
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
All in
Aye,
favor?
aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
And I'd like to make a motion to authorize us to hire back Stuart Yaton on a temporary basis not to exceed 25 hours.
Stuart Smith.
Do it,
Stuart
Smith.
Smith.
Sorry, Stuart, I apologize, Stuart Smith, not to exceed 25 hours per week. Is there a rating?
What was he making?
I have to look.
Well, let's just keep him at his current rate that he was getting last year.
Okay.
I second that.
Just for the record, he'll only be staying on until we fill that full-time position. He's just helping Pete out, so Pete's not alone out in the woods doing things he's not supposed to be doing by himself. So, with that being said, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. And then we have one
I'll
more
make
motion,
a,
right?
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the town, either through Sandy or the interim town administrator, to post the, the former road department position. that-
Two. Is it Laborer 2.
Laborer 2, that Pete, since Pete's getting promoted, so she can advertise that.
I second.
I se-
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Any discussion? None?
No?
Thank you. Call for vote?
Aye.
Aye. Sandy, if you could probably get that done tomorrow for us,
I will.
please. Thank you.
All right, and then we just gotta approve the manifest,
We
right?
have manifest and a couple purchase orders, but yes.
Let's do the budget first.
These would be real
All right,
easy.
let's do that first. then.
Okay, we have one AP manifest. Apparently, this
All right, I'll
gentleman,
make a motion.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve, payment voucher, 2018, number 22, in the amount of $5,633. It's for Burgess Repair.
Is that for the fire engine?
How much was it?
no, that's for the highway truck. I guess it was done back in August, September. He came in looking for his check last week. I didn't even have a purchase order. I had nothing, and I had the quote. No
Okay.
bill or anything, so I asked him to bring me one.
You
He
seconded
did.
it, right?
He brought me one,
Any
and I told
discussion?
him I'd make sure he got paid on time.
What was the dollar figure again? I'm sorry.
$5,633. Any more questions?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Although I gotta say, there was some other things that.
What's the other one?
Just
check-
the regular payroll manifest with it.
Make sense to me either. We've already paid the people that.
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll manifest in the amount of $53,668.99. It's number 21.
I second that.
Any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Okay.
I
We have a
have,
couple of purchase orders.
I do. I also have an intent to cut that came in from Charlie Marino. Needs to be signed.
I'll make a motion to approve intent to cut. Location of property is on Long Pond Road, map 207, lot 15, and map 212, lot 65. I so move the intent to cut.
Second.
Sign these two?
No, that's for them, I think, for the sign.
Oh, okay, all right.
I don't think that's for us.
Any
to sign.
discussion?
We don't sign that stuff.
No, I'm all set.
I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
I have a purchase order, I guess Manchester Paving, you guys approved the work being done, the purchase order was never set
For Harvey
forth.
Lake?
Yep, the bill came in, no purchase order, so I need the purchase order approved by the board.
Okay.
You already approved the work done.
Yes, so they paid.
Yes,
Is this that big dip they were talking about?
Pete just gave me the invoice
That was
tonight
section
before the
that they were
meeting.
talking about. That was the hole that they were talking about on Harvey Lake.
I'll make a motion to approve Manchester Paving in the amount of $4,000.
I'll second for discussion. Hey, have you gone down to see that? All right, I'll have to take a ride down and see how it looks. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Staples
passes
purchase
3-0.
order, I need a signature because it's coming out of the cable trust fund.
Make a motion to approve the, for cable supplies to Staples for the amount of $112.31. It's coming out of the Cable Expendable Trust Fund.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
I have a contract here for Avatar Associates. This is for that export the cards to the PDF thing that I guess you guys were all talking about.
Was that yesterday? They came
Was
in
that that
last week.
presentation?
I think so, Kate
Yeah,
left
I
me
think
this,
it
can
came
you
in
guys
last week.
sign it?
Is it Avatar? I thought it was a separate company that was doing that.
That's why
That company was.
I haven't been at the meeting, so I'm not sure which company.
That's the assessing?
No. That's the company that came in and gave the.
No, it wasn't
presentation.
Avatar.
It wasn't Avatar.
Was it Avatar? It wasn't
No,
Avatar.
it's, cartographics.
Cartographics?
Yeah, so what's this for?
Kate handed it to me and asked me to present it to the board.
Is there like a
I
note with
am
it
not
or something?
sure. Why don't we not
Put it
do
off.
that till we find
Okay,
out?
Avatar Associates provides software.
Let's get a little bit more information
Yeah,
on
I
this.
can,
Yeah.
let me do some research.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I don't
Because
want.
after I gave it to you, I'm
Yes,
thinking,
please,
that
thank
wasn't
you.
right, because cartographics
No.
was doing the new software.
Yeah, let's get a little bit more.
So let me
please.
find out before we bring this back to the table. I just have a quick question for the board. I got an email from our town attorney. They're trying to schedule different towns for the town meetings, and they want to confirm that you wish that someone be there for our town meeting
Yes.
on that Saturday.
Yes.
I said that we are planning it on February 2nd. That's our date to do it.
We need
I want
somebody
the
there.
board's
We have to have
blessing.
somebody there.
That we're doing it February 2nd. You want the attorney? Okay. Okay. The only other thing I have left is the contract for Morton Salt.
Did you receive this in the packet?
I didn't receive it.
I didn't get it.
I didn't get a packet. I only got what I got here.
Okay, somebody left that in my stuff.
Somebody what?
It's basically all stuff that I already know.
It was dropped off, so
Did
today.
you tell them to put it in my packet?
It's already
I
stuff.
thought it was on DJ's pile, but
Oh,
it's okay. It might have.
that's the,
It's just.
So,
okay, sorry.
Morton Salt, the contract for the winter.
Does it just have to be signed by the chairman?
I believe you guys have to approve the chairman signing it.
Yeah, I want to make a motion to approve the contract with Morton
What's
Salt.
this? That's something different.
150 tons at 49.36 a ton. Bulk safety, okay.
Save that for last. Do that after. I'm sorry, I was reading. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right, I'll do it again.
I appreciate it.
Approve, all right, Morton, I'd like to make a motion to approve the chairman signing this contract with Morton Salt.
I'll second.
Discussion, I just wanted to kind of,
Put this
so
away for
Morton
after.
Salt is pleased to offer us a bulk salt pricing for season 2018-2019. The description is bulk safety salt from July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2019 delivered. Looks like it's MS dump truck standard 32 ton. And the total tons is 150 tons.
I'm good. Second.
Yep.
Signing that on behalf of the board.
Yeah.
Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Then we'll have chairman sign it. Did I say that?
Morton salt, they make this
We're
table
gonna have to
salt
go
too,
back into
right?
non-public to discuss that
At the end.
at the end of that,
I have something for
And the
non-public
what?
as well.
end of this letter.
Oh, yeah, I did. That's, yes.
We'll go back and not public.
Only other thing I have is the minutes of September 25th, and I know the board hasn't read them.
Yeah, we'll,
So we'll bump those over to the 16th meeting.
Absolutely.
I do have an answer from you on one of the budget questions from last week. I don't know if you want to do it now, or you just want to address it once we get into budget.
Let's do all the budget. Is that about the
But it was
safety
for the
complex?
surveying, it was for the surveying.
Surveying? Okay, what's the answer real quick?
The answer is You do not need to have the narrow surveyed.
Okay, so we don't need to put in for that.
No, the one that you do need is the only two left in town that need to be surveyed, according to Mr. Wormel, because he's already done all the others at different times
I
throughout
thought we did for the
the
CIP.
past 20 years. Well, he did them when we've done renovations to them and whatever. Police department,
So we need to do that one.
and he gave me an estimate of $3,800. And then the community building, and that's
So,
$3,600.
but the only two we were worried about was the police department and the fire department.
Well, we were gonna get them all done eventually, but he's already got, there's some things, deeds and stuff filed on the other buildings. So we don't necessarily have to have them surveyed.
So we have to budget.
These two, you need to do something, he
So
said.
we have to budget to have those two
Right.
surveyed. Okay.
And he was more than willing to talk to the board if you need him to.
No, that's a good, all right, so let's go right into the budget now. We'll do tax collector first, seems you're here, 4 and 5. You're first on the list anyways.
That's first.
Yeah,
Like, I thought I was gonna be late.
no, you're right on time. I got one! I know, what's up with all these bugs
Hey, we're
tonight?
down to 5. We got 5 left.
Wow, that's a big one, that's like the mother one.
I'm down.
That's like the mother one. All right, what page are we on?
That's the one that's lifting us off the chair.
Scott, you got your binder this week.
Yeah, I couldn't find any glitter.
Who's the glitter?
Don't
She
even tempt
wanted
me.
it, trust me.
What, you can glitter it if you
You
want.
double dog dare me and it will be glittered.
What page?
4 and 5, so it looks like you've gone down because of mostly the health and dental.
Okay. Excuse me.
I don't see anything that's changed in this line. Worries me.
Okay, so what are the big changes here?
There isn't any.
So you have a health, what do you, oh, you don't need that?
No, she's on the buyout.
She's on the buyout?
So we don't have to budget for that. So that actually, she went down, so everything's down.
Yeah, and postage was taken out because,
Going all into one line.
yep. So the rest of it, she pretty much level.
Okay, so I don't have any issues with this.
All right, this starts on page four, okay.
Yeah, the decreases of the salary, the health and dental and the postage.
Yeah, I don't see any issues.
Yeah,
with
everything
any
else.
of it.
And you got your part-time, your other position in here too, right?
Yes.
It's on page 4.
Is there any issues or concerns that you want to talk about in relation to your budget?
No, I think I'm kind of passionate with the restoration of records because I know that's a hot ticket item. So that's like really out of everything, that's the thing that I question.
Looks like you increased that line.
Yeah.
And,
Yep. So that's why I wanted to meet
So
today
what was,
to kind of
what was
discuss
the
that.
reasoning for increasing it, not just to ask?
So, to increase, so I got the quote, which was a 3-year quote,
Yeah.
which we used last time. Well, that expired.
Okay.
So now the prices have increased. This
This
volume.
is the binding of all the.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this volume 18 requires 3 different volumes, and if you hold it, it is about to fall apart. And we've had 2 citizens in the past 6 months request to see it for whatever reason, and it's kind of embarrassing to give them that. They're like, well, what are you gonna do with this? Well, when it's falling apart, not much. So I know it's so expensive, but at what point can we ever do that? So if we can't do it this year, will we be able to do it next year? I mean, what?
I think with the fact that you're saving the money in the other line, I don't think that this increase in this line is too drastic to get that done. That's just my
What
opinion.
number is that?
That's right here. I went up
What page you on?
I'm on page 3.
Page 3?
Page
That's
3.
the total it went up. It starts on page 2, but page 2 is literally just the,
So you're going up $7,000?
No, it's
Going
going
up
up
from-
32.
Yep, 32.
3,200.
I'm sorry, I'm being,
It's okay.
32.
Was
No,
it
that's
this one?
Page 3. You're on page 4.
I'm sorry.
So that's for last
Yeah,
year's?
it's going up right there. That's what she's
This
going up.
is,
Oh, okay.
this proposal's for 2019.
Right, so it's gonna go up $3,291.
Okay.
And so there's 2 in the $7,000 range. So my plan was this year I would ask for this one, Next year I'd go to a $3,000 one. And then maybe the year after that, I would then ask for the $7,000 one just to be done with them.
Okay.
Those two that require the 3 volumes.
Okay.
That was my plan.
I think that's the best plan. I mean, it needs to be done. I'm okay with
I
it.
know it is pretty embarrassing to give out.
Unfortunately, like Scott has said before, there's a lot of things in town that we're a little bit behind on that may hurt the budget, but we gotta get them done.
Yeah.
If it's falling apart, I mean, I like that we're doing it in stages and not all in
But
one
if
lump
it's falling
sum.
apart and you drop it and all the pages are all
I
messed up,
know.
what's gonna happen? That's a,
Yeah.
I know, I give it to them as,
Say,
like it's
why
my
don't we go
newborn
all
baby.
I say, why don't we go to all electronic? Scan them in.
Good, I
So you
don't
don't have
know.
to worry about when somebody had explained to me once that you have to have it.
yeah, do you have to have paper copy?
Yeah.
In this day and age, I don't get it, but
With the same thing we're doing the same
The
thing with
law.
MSDS
They have
at
RSAs
work.
for
They're
all of
going
it,
to-
how long
they're
you can
going to
keep
it on the
things
computer, but
and-
we still have to have the binders there, which makes no sense. Is that it?
That was really my main thing.
Okay. I'm on board.
She's got moderator, elections,
All right, so let's go right on to it. We'll go on.
Moderators.
voter registration, all those are hers.
So all the elections, there's only one election next year, right?
Yep, so
Four.
that decreased.
So
So
that's
I
not gonna go
decreased
up.
them by 2/3.
Yeah.
Because she hadn't, when I was spent not very good last month, meaning that she was gone, you had left, the budget had been locked, and I looked at them and nothing had been changed
On the,
on those, so I cut them all
Oh,
by
I'm sorry.
2/3 down to one.
I thought I had put a note in saying down one
So I
election.
need you to, I mean, if you're okay with those numbers,
Yep,
I kinda do what we
I'm
do
okay
per
with it.
election.
yeah, no, thank you.
Good with elections. I'm good with moderator. Moderator's on page 1.
Well, that's hell.
Drawn down.
Right, but the town clerk does the budget for moderator, voter registration, elections.
So we're good, basically. I don't see anything any questions on any of that.
So we'll do moderator,
So we're down to economic development.
that's executive office, that's town administrator.
So I don't see anything else, anything more for her, do you?
Well, I do some of that executive office.
Yeah,
I do most of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How's your new hours going?
Going
I gotta
well,
come-
I've had
I
a
gotta
lot of
come see you.
compliments.
I gotta come see you too for a new dog registration.
For new what?
A new dog
So
registration.
we okay with
Yeah.
elections and voter registration?
Nice.
I just want to kind of, can slow down a second, so you just did it for the one election?
Yes.
All right, and then the year after, we got
Great.
3, no, you got the presidential too.
So we'll go back.
So you're gonna
elections
have,
in
you're gonna
2020.
have,
Four elections,
20,
won't it?
Yep.
Oh.
so you're gonna have the presidential primary.
Yep.
You're gonna have
I'm
a
surviving right now.
Republican, Democrat primary, main elections
for a
in
month.
town.
Great.
Oh my God, yeah.
So we'll go back up to 4 elections in 2020, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
I should be a pro by then.
Yeah, me too.
When do we have to renew the dog license? No, that's not till
April.
April.
And we got a new, got a new dog.
Yeah, my brother dumped one on me, so I kind of got one. I inherited a dog.
That happens.
Oh, Uncle teacher.
It's a good dog. It's all right.
All right, well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
All right, so we're gonna go on to economic development, page 24.
Now, do they wanna redo what's the deal? Did you talk to Hal at all about that?
Kate sent out several emails, I guess, and he just didn't
Well, actually, there's a bunch of,
respond, I guess, so that's where it's at.
can
So
we,
Kate and I talked about it.
can we actually reach out to Hal?
Yeah.
And hold off on that
Okay.
till next time?
Well, are you questioning because?
I mean,
He's
Heather,
trying, I get a bunch of emails that they're trying to redo, they wanna get the committee going again. So I'd like to know, they got, what's in there for money? I guess I should
it's
ask that.
$405,
And what was there last year?
604. And it only dropped by postage
But that's the
because we moved
postage,
it to
right.
the other line.
All right, I guess it's okay. But could we reach out to Hal and see if he's,
I will.
all right, please.
So we're okay with that one then?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so executive office 1 and 2.
It's page 2 and 3.
It says 1 and 2 on mine, but that's okay.
Executive office,
2 and 3, no.
Oh, okay.
It does say 1
Yeah, it
and 2 on mine, but that's okay.
Now, I have to let you know, we have not had our meeting with Mainstay as of yet. So the Mainstay contract, I looked back the last couple of years, so we increased it by like 5% for our IT support and our website and all that heavy hoopla. We have a meeting with them. I've postponed it. They wanted to do it yesterday. It was a holiday. So I'm trying to get them to come in Friday when Tammy's here to go over the new renewal contract. So that number is subject to change, but that would be the only one in there. Everything else is based on the
So the only
contracts we
increase that I
have.
see really in here, that's the major one, is the postage, but that, the only reason why that looks so big is because it's the
Right.
postage over everything.
Everything's been dumped in
That's
there.
why it looks
right?
like it's so big,
You got
because
it.
it's the postage over all the departments.
You got it.
That's really the only one that I see, that's really a huge increase.
Yeah, that increase.
But it's not a huge increase, it just looks
No,
big
because
because
it's
it's all at
decreased everywhere
once.
else.
Right,
Right.
exactly. I'm okay with that one for now. So, personal administration, 6 and 7.
That's all contractual, right?
Nope. No. Personnel administration.
Yeah, it's the,
It's background checks.
yeah.
It's
Well, they-
DOT physicals.
Okay.
It's driver's
Well, it's
license
all
checks.
Not going up, so.
Employee disability is contractual.
Yes.
Unemployment, workers' comp, those are all contractual because you guys sign it with Primex.
Yeah.
Personnel admin is the only one that goes up and down depending on how many people we hire and how many background checks we do, how many DOT physicals we get
Yeah, we
tagged to do that year.
We got some vacancies, so,
Right.
Yep.
so that's,
Looks like it's staying the
And
same.
NFPA physicals, if you
I
hire a
don't
fire
know,
department,
do
they
you,
come
do
out
you
of there.
like, it's because we're looking at getting a new town administrator.
Where are you looking at it increasing?
We-
Why?
We haven't overspent
Well,
it
you're
yet.
talking about, so you're like saying, okay, you got.
The personnel admin maintenance line, that
Okay.
$2,000,
Yeah,
NFPA physicals, DOT physicals, New Hampshire driving checks,
haven't
background
gone over it yet.
checks,
okay.
and all of that stuff come out of there.
And yeah, we did a lot this year too. We had a lot of things. We had a lot
And
of
we
them,
still
too.
have plenty of money left over,
Yeah.
so.
Okay,
Okay, so I'm okay with that one. Are you okay with it?
yep.
So we're gonna move on, patriotic purposes and donations, page 23.
Did you reach out to the head of the veterans, neighbor there?
I didn't know I was supposed to.
Well, they
usually-
sometimes they come in, they ask for what they want to do for the parade and stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, I haven't,
So did you just level fund them?
I level funded it, I wouldn't cut anybody, right, without them telling me to.
Okay.
So,
On that page is, page,
What are you doing, patriotic
23.
purposes? Yep, page
So,
23.
I know last year, Beacon Hole Bash let us, they didn't ask for any money. Are we sticking with that this year?
Yes, I've asked,
Okay.
they're not requesting any funds from us.
Okay, I know that they did, that last year they didn't request any, so I was just wanting to make sure they were still on that same page. So, okay, so we okay with all that?
So patriotic purposes and
Now we're on legal operations and claims
donations.
and judgments, page 6. I ain't gonna have to do much changing on this one.
She's like, yay,
I know.
save a tree.
We are level funding our legal operations too, looks like.
I level funded it, it's whatever the board,
we don't have any pending litigation.
not that I'm aware of.
I think our biggest one's behind us with Cleasby, isn't it? Wasn't that the biggest one that drained us a lot this year? Cleasby. So I think we're okay.
All right.
Street lighting, page 15.
What was that for?
That
We don't even
laugh.
have street lights
We don't even
anymore.
have street lights, they don't even.
But they keep $1 in there,
We don't
now
use
I
it
can
anymore.
change this to a 0.
Well, is
If
there,
I do
is
after
there
3
technically
years.
streetlights?
There is.
But
There's
we
that
don't pay
one-
for 'em.
Yeah, there is, but we don't pay for them.
That's what, this was the ones we paid for. But remember a few years ago, Eversource came and shut, and,
Shut them down?
yeah.
Yeah.
Leave the dollar.
the dollar.
Like, remember the one that there used to be a turn light that's about 500 feet on each side of the transfer station that used to blink when it was open. Now it doesn't blink no more.
All right, what,
So that's it for that.
That's it for budget.
See, what's going on, the safety
Did
complex?
they figure out where they were gonna get their money from?
Oh, do you
Kate
know
sent the
if-
email, I wasn't CC'd on the email when she sent it out, so I have no
All
idea.
right, if we could please, we're meeting next Tuesday.
I will get the
Are we
answers
behind
for
the
you.
8 ball for this now?
No, because he's been working on it all along. We just gotta figure out how to pay him. The guy's been working on it all
On the
along.
safety complex, he has?
Yeah, he hasn't,
Yeah, we just gotta figure out how to pay him, that's all.
Okay, I wasn't CC'd on that. Let me touch base with police and fire.
Okay.
Because if they responded to her, I don't know it.
Okay.
Does Tammy have access to her email?
She does.
So when we send.
So Tammy would've gotten
Let me
that.
ask you a question, when we send an
As
email,
well, since you're doing 3 days a week?
Nope,
we probably should.
I didn't have the board's.
Well, if we're
It usually
asked-
goes to the town administrator. If the board wants me to have access, that's fine, or I can touch base with Tammy. But the problem is she won't be until Friday, so I mean, I can touch base with her Friday. We'll still have the information before Tuesday.
Okay.
It's up to the
I don't
board.
care if she has access to.
I don't care if you have access to Tammy's email. I mean, I think it's in the best interest of
Tammy's
the town.
email
No,
or
Kate's.
Kate's?
Kate's, well, it's Tammy's email at this, Tammy's town email, how's that?
Did they,
Well,
well,
it's-
I don't, shouldn't have.
It's in
I
under
sh-
her name now.
I should not have access to Tammy, she's a current employee.
Yeah.
It should be Kate's.
Kate's.
That's not a
anything
cool
that-
thing to have
Alright,
access
so
to a
Kate-
well,
current
actually,
employee.
you can get it if you needed it.
So I
Just
think you're
call
okay
it
with having
forward
access
to
to
me.
Kate's. So I have a question to ask the board. So if right now, if I go into email, the last email that Tammy sent me, it came through as Kate's. If I respond to that, Tammy's getting it?
Yes. Anything addressed to Tammy, no, anything addressed to Kate as admin at town admin,
So she still gets
it gets forwarded to Tammy.
Okay.
Tammy will also.
Even though it
receive
still comes back as
Like
it's
the one I
Kate.
just got was, the invite to,
Oh, this SRO thing.
Right.
Yes. the
That's what we
budget
did with Joe's combined for like four months. We always forward it for at least 3 months
School board, sorry.
because of things out there pending. that need
Yes,
to be
no,
done.
that's what I wanted to make sure, so that
what,
way.
is this something from the school board, is that for budget committee?
So
For me, I didn't get that.
I need to go
Budget
back into
committee.
the,
When's the next one?
I think it's next week.
I will not be at that meeting Wednesday, Scott.
Why
What day is
not?
it?
I have a,
Budget meeting?
yeah,
I can
next
do a
Wednesday.
Wednesday for you if you really need a break.
I have a medical procedure being done Thursday morning,
Okay.
so I cannot be here Wednesday night. You don't want me to be here Wednesday night.
Oh, I know what this is.
Again,
Yes, just get plenty of rest.
Yes.
old lady procedure.
You're on the same page I'm on.
All right, I guess I'm gonna have to look at,
I do have a question on the budget. Can we still, before we?
Yes.
The ones for the surveying, you guys need to
Yes.
make a motion or vote
Okay.
something to tell me to put it in the budget. You
Yes,
guys
let's
need to
put it in the budget. Let's make a motion to put the surveying for the 2 properties in the budget.
Yeah. I second that.
Any discussion, Scott?
well,
All
Okay,
in
so it's
favor?
under contracted service.
you have, how much you putting in there?
It's 38 for the PD and 36 for community center.
Right, so I will put the 2 of them together.
No, I'll do, what, you wanna do the budget?
No, I can do a Wednesday. I can't do Saturday, but if
I
you
think
needed
isn't
it,
it next Wednesday, I
if you needed a
believe? It is
break
next
on a
Wednesday.
Wednesday, I could. I can't do Saturdays. I can't do Saturdays.
No, I,
Unless they do it afternoon. If they do it afternoon, I can do a Saturday, but
no, I don't mind doing it, I just gotta know I gotta do it. All right.
anything else?
That's all I
So we
have.
gotta go into non-public for one thing, for 2 things? You have anything? I have no
What's
story.
this?
We did get our audit report, it looks like.
You did, and the board does need a motion to accept that, right? I don't think you guys did that with the draft, did you? No. I don't think so.
So, did everybody get a copy?
I did get a copy. I haven't had a chance to read it, to be honest with you, because I got my copy today.
Well, I'll make a motion to accept the,
I'm sure it's okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the audit report as of December 31st, 2027. That was done by Plazek and Sanderson.
I will second. Any discussion?
Yeah, so significant, was there any significant audit findings?
Nothing significant, no.
Okay, because they have this one here, management's estimate, okay, uncollectible. They had a concern about uncollectible taxes. The most
Yeah,
sensitive,
there's some downstairs that are like many, many years old, $24, $26, but we don't know who owns the property. Does the
Okay.
board want to abate them? That's something that you need, the town clerk or tax collector would have to figure out and meet with the board to do something with those. The only other thing they mention is the unclaimed property, which I do every year. I'm working on it now. I've sent the 2 notices. Those have to go to the state by November. They will be. The checks will be cut in October the last bender run in October to go to the state by November 1st. I do those every year.
Okay. Does anybody have any,
So, yeah, I just, we did get a clean audit opinion, which is the first time, because we did that accrual thing. And we got all that,
The actuarial. Yep.
so that's like a first.
good?
I think, when we write our, report, we should note that, that we did get a, like, clean audit
Our
opinion.
selectmen report that we do every year?
Yeah, we used to get clean ones until that
So
Gatsby
gas,
came
yeah,
out.
yeah. No, we always got a qualified one because we
Right.
didn't know the value of the property.
You already called for the vote, correct?
Yes,
No, we had a
that's second.
discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, we had first and second, but we
Right.
didn't vote yet.
All right.
So I'm okay. I'm done.
Call for a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any, anybody that has any reports?
Are these our own copies though?
Yes.
I have two if anybody wants to.
Sure, go ahead.
I just want to discuss, I got these two things in my packet that I'm just gonna bring up. This one is from, this, in accordance with New Hampshire RSA 483-B:5-B4, the Shoreline Protection Act, the Town of Northwood is hereby notified that Northwood Reality Trust, John and Kim Blood trustees are proposing to conduct activities within 250 feet of the shoreline of Pleasant Lake in Northwood. The trust is proposing to construct a replacement sewage disposal system 75 feet from the lake and install a drill well about 160 feet from the lake at 37 Lasky Drive, map 121, lot 15. You are being notified of this proposed activity as required by Department of Environmental Services shoreline permit application.
Yeah, that's
I'm just reading it so that way everybody.
It's in the
And
minutes.
this one is Harvey Lake Watershed Association has reached out to us as they had a meeting and they are questioning the Kelsey Brook Dam on Harvey Lake. The dam has been identified, the state of New Hampshire is number 183.10, is owned by the town of Northwood. It was brought to their attention that there were several large rainstorms to that area in Harvey Lake. As a result, saw water levels usually high for July and August. They are looking for us to, in regard, we ask the selectmen to provide us with a maintenance and operation plan, or absent that, the name of someone whose job responsibility is to oversee the safe operation of the dam.
Who'd you get that from?
Harvey Lake Watershed Association. So they're looking for,
Who does the dams?
they're looking for a plan of, I guess, if something goes wrong with that dam, of what we're gonna do. So it looks like they think it falls under the road agent. I'm guessing it probably does. Just making the board
It's
aware.
usually them that we've sent out to fix them
You
and
want to
clean the
reach
board.
out to, you might want to reach out to DS Dam Bureau. And are they just asking for guidance or?
It looks like they're asking for a little bit of guidance and a plan. Did you read it? You want to read it real?
It looks like
I
they
kinda read
want,
it real quick.
they're asking the town to maintain it and take care of it, is what
Yeah.
they're asking.
Well, we would it's the same thing like when that other one went, we had the.
Golf road, on
So,
Golf Road, where we had to
could we-
clean it up a little bit.
Could you maybe have somebody, could you have Pete go out there and
Yes,
take a look at this?
I will.
I just read it real quick in my thing. That's all I have. If anybody else has got anything else, we can now go into non-public. We're gonna go back under personnel.
Well, you gotta read it.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to go in non-public on the RSA
Want a copy of this?
91A:3, paragraph 2. Is this to talk about an employee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
2A. So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Donald Hutchins, aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
Scott Breyer, I agree.
We're now in non-public. I'd like to make a motion to come out of non-public.
I second that.
Roll call, Donald Hutchins, aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
Scott Breyer, aye. I'd like to make a motion to seal our minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. I'll do one last round of
Public
citizens
comment?
forum.
Any public comment?
Yes, I have one question.
Oh, go to the mic.
I was already moving.
You don't need to turn it on, we can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes.
I have one question. What are you gonna do about the road agent position?
We are putting it out for applying, and I believe we're gonna appoint somebody to March, and then they can run again. Are you interested?
Oh,
Well, if you are, we would love to have your resume so you can bring it into next week, because I don't think we've got, she was supposed, did she put it out? She was supposed to put it out.
I don't think
Do you
so.
have a CDL?
Yes, I do.
Yes, we do.
I got a current physical card too. You want to see it?
Well, just, can we definitely post that, can we put that out tomorrow ASAP?
So you're-
That one we definitely need to
So-
put out.
So Sandy, you're gonna post the labor too, right? And
Road agent,
road agent, and then
laborer,
and
well,
then
okay.
and the fire chief
And
position.
then you can work on,
All
the
right.
board with Brent.
Have we heard anything about the fire truck?
What about the fire truck?
It's fixed.
No, engine 3. Remember we said up to 75?
So, that's
I haven't heard anything
I haven't
else.
heard anything different.
Okay, so anything else coming before this board?
Did we give you this thing?
I think she has it.
You have it, here's the envelope.
That's the one for the,
I think it went, I think you.
Yes.
you should-
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We are now adjourned, 8 o'clock.